everybody. So I have kind of an interesting project for you. I have, and this is something I can maybe get into the finer details of later on, but I have taken some steps to collect some resources to be able to self-host for total offline single-player use old caches of RuneScape. This version of the game, game version 289, is from January 2005. As you can see, some of these models, like this cow, look even different than they did in 2007. I don't remember when the graphical rehaul came through. It was sometime in 2005 or 6. I think 5. Where a lot of these kind of somewhat 2D, kind of 2.5D models got updated to a full proper kind of, not HQ, like high quality, but I'll say full-fledged 3D models. You know, as you'll see, some of the models in this game version definitely resemble RuneScape Classic more than they do RuneScape 2, and so it's almost like I'm playing like a RuneScape 1.6, for lack of a better term. It's kind of interesting. So here I am, just going to grab flour for Cook's assistant, but yeah, so I guess it's time to talk about maybe what are some of my goals with this account. So I definitely want to 100% the content that is available and functioning in this little backup. So right, all the skills present in this cache are available and work as far as I know. There are some bugs here and there, but nothing that breaks the game. And I already have developed kind of a backup system for the character data that gets created, so I'm not worried about corrupting this kind of homebrewed subject. So I'm definitely going to complete all of the free-to-play quests and then the 16 members quests that are available. Do I plan on getting any 99s? Probably not. I am playing on an accelerated XP game right now just to kind of test out what works and what doesn't, like what I should expect from a project like this. You know, is it really going to play out like Iron Man did, but, you know, even more old school, missing some content, such as the Lumbridge teleport, of course, like I am typing out here. It's right in this cache, there is no Lumbridge teleport. Yeah, I think I'm looking through here trying to figure out what to sell. And I would say my last goal is definitely to progress to the PvE endgame, PvM. So that includes killing the strongest bosses. That would be KVD, Snow God Wars. I think maybe God Wars may have been modded in, but of course it's not in the cache that I'm playing now anyways, the January 1st, 2005 cache. And I don't think Calphite Queen is in the game either, although maybe. Maybe actually Calphite Queen might have been released alongside RuneScape 2. So here I am back in Lumbridge. You'll actually see, I forgot to comment before, that the lovely old school, not old school, but old school, early 2005 version of Lumbridge had this kind of RuneScape classic looking cobblestone, which was pretty awesome. I love that graphic. I love some of these older sprites. And you'll see here that I have figured out that pickpocketing and attacking are not mutually exclusive, which I want to say is not true in old school RuneScape. I don't believe you could be doing both. But I'm kind of going to start pickpocketing and attacking here. I actually don't think I developed that technique quite yet, but I started to develop some slightly optimized techniques for thieving, although not really. So just to clarify, my XP rate is at 1.5 for this character, and then the quest XP I initially had set to 5.0, but then I lowered that to 3.0. And kind of my idea with the accelerated quest XP is that I kind of wanted this to play out, like I said, as a single player game. You'll see me running away from the woman here. And so when I was kind of coming up in my head, well, you know, what would feel like, what XP rate would kind of emulate the feeling of, hey, I completed all the quests, so stat table is probably also almost complete. I felt like 1.5 and 3.0 kind of seems about right, although, of course, when I do go to create kind of a more serious, there comes my cooking XP, and you'll see I actually get a ton of levels because of the 5.0 quest XP. But yeah, when the time comes for me to do a more serious, a Jagex-like character, it will be 1.0 and 1.0, of course, the true slow XP rates. But like I said, right now I just kind of wanted to test through what works, what doesn't work, and then what is different about Cash 289, because I will probably be playing, like I said, new game version, a newer game version, probably from around 2005 or 6, when I do return for a regular raid character. See, I'm starting my hand at fletching here, which is pretty great. Making some arrows, because of course I don't really know what to do about the rate at which I'm going to lose arrows. I think ranged is going to be pretty powerful in this version of the game. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get my hands on a magic short bow, but I think that getting a maple short bow is well within my grasp. As I record the audio now, my woodcutting is already 36, so I'm already kind of on my way to being able to farm some early medium game resources, which is going to be awesome. Here I'm getting ready to rush, of course, one of the most important early game quests, especially for such an old version of the game. That's right, Restless Ghost. We're going to get some perk levels. And Restless Ghost is actually the quest that led me to lower the XP rate down from 5 times to 3 times regular XP rates, because I got probably too many prayer levels, but I decided that it wasn't a big deal, because the prayer that really matters, which is 10% strength, you get at level 13, which Restless Ghost pretty much would have given me anyways. So even though it ended up giving me quite a preemptive boost, it's not like that's going to matter until I get 43 anyways to finish off some of the protection prayers. And just because of the exponential way that XP tables work in RuneScape. Not really concerned about breaking my character, but of course I can always manually go back and change my prayer level downwards if I felt like that was too rushed. My levels are pretty low though, that the boosts don't really affect it anyways. Like the 10% strength boost doesn't even give you a strength point until you have like 11 strength, and then it doesn't give you 2 strength until you have like 21, so I don't even have 21 strength for having played like 5-6 hours into my character. And so this part of the lumber swamp, I surprised me, also looked different. So as you saw, to get over here, the gate was actually wasn't open to leave the lumber swamp through the graveyard, which I thought was pretty funny. Never knew that about the game. That's kind of interesting because I even played some RuneScape Classic. I guess I don't recall what the graveyard looks like in RuneScape Classic. Just checking out the mithril ore here. I did keep the mining system on the old version mining system. Here I'm coming up to that fence again just to show that there is no entrance key. Pretty sure in the very next build of RuneScape there was, so 289 is one of the very last before the game kind of turned into what it would go on to look like, which is, you know, around 2007 era RuneScape, the backup that we now play on. So here I am getting a 3rd prayer level, pretty sweet. Guess I don't have the footage of me getting the iron sword from Varrock, but that was one of my earlier purchases. You can rest assured that I did go on to purchase a scimitar soon after. I think I have footage in here of me going to Al-Kharid and picking up the steel scimitar, which is what I have now and what I'll probably have for a while. So now we're cruising our way to Ice Mountain. I'm gonna go get the materials for Doric's quest. Yeah, so I really don't know where the footage is. I just went to go look for it, but at some point I completed Restless Ghost. And Witch's Potion, apparently. Seeing them in that case, or I'll insert them here. I'll have to go looking for them. If I found them, they'll probably be placed right now. But here we're going to do Doric's quest. Doric's quest is going to give us a ton of mining, and I trained my mining quite a bit. At this point, I think it said I had 20. Yeah, so you'll see there I have rapid healing. That's kind of insane this early. She got 16 hit points. Again, kind of cheesy to have gotten that much prayer so early, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not really going to affect this character so much, and we could always create a new one, and I intend to. So we're looking for some more clay and tin. No tin. Clay and iron, and then I have the copper. Right, so at this point, I get a full inventory. I'm out of there. And I believe I stop on a interesting detour here to Edgeville Monastery. Because I expect that I'm going to go get the monk's robes and the holy symbol, right? If I'm going to be super under-leveled, and I'm going to have some prayer points to go with it, to go get that equipment. And I realized, of course, that the monastery is actually like the prayer guild or something. Like they actually call it the prayer guild. It has a minimum level of like 30. So, you know, I guess I gotta go grind more. But I never knew that. I guess my prayer was always higher than 30 at the point where I would want to enter. But that's also the thing about versions of RuneScape that are more complete and have more quests, is there are quests that will put you at high enough prayer pretty quickly without really ever having to train it, even on Iron Man. Don't remember what I did on my Iron Man character to get my early prayer levels. Definitely quests. And then Ectofunctus. Did a lot of Ectofunctus. Before I really had any Mauritania diaries done, though. So I'm turning in Doric's quest now. And I'm going to get like 7 mining levels from it, or 6. See, the rest of my skills there are still lacking for the amount of time that I had put into the character at this point, and even now my stats are still pretty low. What I'm working on right now, which you'll actually see later in this video, for 26 mining, what you'll see later in this video is that I take the journey out to Kandrin, past Camelot, and I make my way to Gnome Stronghold, where I go to train agility. It's the first thing you need to get going on Iron Man. And with a respectable medium level agility, we will be able to traverse a little bit better, because I don't plan on having too great a supply of runes early on, because as you'll come to find out, it's pretty hard to get money on a game version this old. And there's no Lumbridge teleport, like no home Lumbridge teleport, which is kind of a funny obstacle. I knew that there was no Lumbridge teleport in RuneScape Classic, and that getting stuck was like a legitimate concern back in earlier builds of RuneScape 1. But I didn't realize that carried over at all into RuneScape 2. That's kind of why I say that this version does play a little bit like RuneScape version 1.6, which is funny though, because build 289 is out for, you know, RuneScape 2 had technically been out for at least a year at that point, or almost a year, because I think it was released at some point in 2004. I want to say 2003 is a little bit too early. I think RuneScape 1 was still around in 2003. It definitely wasn't 2002. That's for sure. So we're making some progress with the Rune Mysteries here. Rune Mysteries is great because we're going to start rune crafting again with the nice smooth 1.5 XP multiplier that I edited into the config file. Rune crafting and whatnot, it's not going to be like a huge dump of time like it is in Iron Man. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still going to be substantial, but it does allow me to play at a little bit more of a casual rate while still authentically testing that the game runs well, it doesn't crash a bunch. These features where quests aren't broken, NPCs aren't missing, a lot of dialogue options are missing, but I'm totally fine with that so long as the ones that serve a function are working. Old school RuneScape. is different straight up. And, you know, I've been very vocal that I think a lot of the additions, most of the additions to old school RuneScape are absolutely for the betterment of the game. A lot of the late game content was amazing. So I plan on continuing to progress through a lot of the main game, late game content. I don't really know. Soloing Bandos, Zamrock, Corrupted Gauntlet was pretty much and then pretty much my stopping point with bandwidth. At that point, I had virtually maxed more than half of the skills that I wanted to. Not all 99s, but I never wanted to get all 99s, and I did most of the achievement diaries. I was definitely missing the 92 fishing, of course, for the Mauritania. And I don't know if I cashed in on my 85 prayer, but I definitely had 85 prayer banked if I hadn't actually taken the levels. I don't know, though. I'd have to look up my stats on my Iron Man. Yeah, I'm very satisfied with my character. Well, I don't know that Subtrack is going to be totally retired. I don't really have any plans to hop on old school RuneScape and play anytime soon. I'm interested in playing through this preserved copy just at a casual rate, just for fun. And to experience not just nostalgia, but I don't know, an experience that was truly unique to a game I had played over a decade ago, right? Because even old school RuneScape, like I mentioned, didn't quite play like the game did back in 2005, around the time that I started, you know, watching my brother play and trying to play on, you know, his account and whatnot. So we're coming to the end of Rune Mysteries here, and this was a pretty fun part in this super early game of my character, because once I completed this quest, I started my first real grind. Not a serious grind, but for the first time since I was playing RuneScape back in 2021, I sat down with an objective and farmed it for like 2 or 3 hours straight. And that was a lot of fun to get kind of just a true intrinsic motivation to do that with no high scores, no nothing, just single player experience. And what I was farming was Rune Essence, and I realized at this point that Rune Essence were the only type of rune making essence. I don't think pure essences are in this version of RuneScape. I don't see anything about them in the skills page, not under mining rock types or under rune crafting. So I don't know like what the pure essence purpose is in RuneScape 2 versus the regular rune essence in this 2005 January backup. I'm thinking maybe the rune essence in this older version of the game kind of doubles as both of them, but I guess we'll see. We'll see if I can craft, I suppose, things like chaos runes and whatnot. I mean, there is no what lies below, so maybe they're just the basic altars. Oh wait, no, well, under the rune crafting page, actually, there are death runes, law runes, nature runes, chaos runes, so things that would have required pure essence members' accounts. You'll see we actually took back some rune essence with us, and we're going to take those to the air altar. Since we have a talisman with us anyways, we're going to visit the Draenor Bank first, though, and definitely deposit these logs and that cat. And some of the other stuff that we've accumulated, or not. I guess we're leaving with the stew. I suppose we need that stew on us. What's exciting is we're also going to finish up in Ketcher pretty soon. Oh, I see. So there, I did not have Witch Potion completed. So maybe you saw some footage out of order earlier. But, you know, what does that really matter? Especially now that we have 2 rune crafting. You'll also notice the multiplier on the rune crafting. It seems to trigger extra air runes. I am not sure why that's the case, but again, this isn't a bug that I'm totally concerned with that ruins my immersion with, you know, the client and local host that I'm working with. I'm like missing a bunch of quests, which is something that I am a little bit more concerned with. With a fire making of 6, I get stuck making fires pretty regularly. Here I am burning the meat on purpose for Witch's Potion, and then I grabbed an onion for Witch's Potion. Then I grabbed some cabbages from the Remington patch, because I believe that does not count as Draenor cabbages, which you will not be able to use for the cabbage event in the Black Knight's Fortress. So here we are picking up the rat's tail, and then we will be completing up Witch's Potion, which is going to be a nice burst of magic XP. And I can't remember if I switched to 3.0 or if it was at 5.0 when I completed this quest. So we got Earth Strike. Not bad at all. So it's time to deposit a bunch of this junk that I've accumulated, and I decided to take off the leather body pretty much just for the fashionscape. The red torso that I put on my character was pretty good looking, so I think I'm going to keep that. Now, as I've stated, we start our first real grind, which is Rune Essence. We're going to use our good friend Aubrey here, and do some mining. Then we're going to turn most of those into air runes, because we're going to need a bunch of air runes no matter what. We do plan on using magic for what we can. Monkey Madness is in its backup and it works, so that's at least one tough enemy, Jungle Demon, that we're definitely gonna need high magic damage for. About getting teleports as early as possible, because we need some sort of real mobility. Running around the world is pretty fun now, but if I continue to do this for another 2 weeks in the character, probably gonna get a little tired of having no home Lumbridge teleport. So we're definitely going to work on our utility. See, I'm actually looking through runes right there in that footage. Definitely questioning at that point what rune essence are going to be used for if there are no pure rune essence. Right, so I actually got the black bead just then. So now we can actually go finish Imp Catcher. I joke that get my best in slot necklace. And then I correct myself and say amulet. And actually, the amulet of accuracy is gonna be my best in slot for quite a while on this character, because there's gonna be a lot of skills that I think I'm gonna be slower to level, like crafting. My crafting right now is 18, but I don't think I'm gonna be pushing it into those upper jewelry levels. Like, what do we have? Amulet of Strength, I want to say, is the first amulet. Ruby, that's 50 crafting. So yeah, I'm not gonna have 50 crafting for a while. I don't even know of any quests in this backup that give me any substantial crafting experience, so that's probably not going to happen. And I'm not too concerned about that. I don't even know what crafting methods exist at this point, like molten glass. Let's actually check. There is molten glass, there are glass orbs. I suppose that makes sense. We could probably make battle stabs. Oh yeah, we can charge orbs. Look at that, you can charge orbs in January 2005 RuneScape. That's pretty exciting. I feel like that's not at all going to be hard. Not that we can go crazy and make a bunch of money like we would be able to now, but we can definitely get a few dozen battle steps pretty quickly, picking up 23 woodcutting there. By just manually getting the soda ash. Now the soda ash, I don't know where we would get. I want to say that port serum shop and those other port shops that give us buckets of sand and whatnot that we use on Iron Man, I want to say that those are new to not just 2007 but old school RuneScape. But I don't know that for sure, so we'll see. I'll probably, if I remember, I'll definitely check it out on my way back from the Gnome Stronghold agility course. So I'm back here in Lumbridge, just on this character too. I've been pretty persistent with just kind of skilling as I move around the world. See, I was checking out the existence of the Trino Village quest there. And I have some shrimp on me because we are headed over to Kandarin. That is also why I have taken my armor off. Now, I wasn't even totally sure if I was going to be able to make it through, because White Wolf Mountain is a multi-combat area, and I'm pretty sure the highest level wolf up there is like, I want to say it's like level 73 or 57. And you could get drained pretty quickly up there when you have hit point like 16. Hit point count like 16. Yeah, it's not really safe. It definitely is going to come down to RNG, so, but it's the only way over as far as I know. Possibly maybe a way to get in through the wilderness, but no, I don't think so. No way to get in through the wilderness. maybe by boat, but no money, so White Wolf Mountain it is. So we took a 2 there. We take a 1. Yeah, see, like, if they were dropping, like, 3s and 4s, I would have been dead right there. But we make it through very well, right, with a 4 shrimp to spare and 35 energy. And just like that, we're in Catherby. So this is actually the original place I was going to end the recording, and I thought that this made for pretty good part 1. Pretty good movement. I want to say that's like 4 or 5 hours of footage that I've edited up. 4 or 5 hours of gameplay, rather, not footage. Not all of the footage was captured. Definitely did capture Restless Ghost, so I don't know where that is, where I completed the quest, but maybe I will have tracked it down and inserted it where I mentioned earlier when I was starting Dork's Quest, or getting the materials for Dork's Quest, rather. You see kind of the old school bank, too, I really like. Very minimalist, no placeholders. You gotta kind of organize it yourself and then do the all but one button on your own.